Alright guys, thanks for coming out. This is our first Beyond the Whiteboard session. We thought it would be nice to get the community together, kind of talk about some upcoming changes, as well as our programming philosophies going forward. So first thing we're going to introduce is foundations. Okay, so foundations is going to be a program primarily for beginners. Basically, we're going to introduce assessments for like squatting and overhead. Okay, so basically, if you can't pass a proper squat assessment, we have 5 points we're looking for. We're not going to let you do weight-bearing movements just for your safety. We have to get you moving right, properly, proper motor patterns before we can let you add weight. Okay, so we have 2 assessments. Squat, 5 points there. 1 is neutral spine. Right, so if we're doing an air squat, we have to have our spine in a straight line. We can't be rounding, we can't be overarching. Okay? We have to have a neutral spine throughout the range of motion. 2, knees, track toes. Okay. So for here, we can't let our knees come in. They have to be over our toes. Again, we don't want to overstress our knees. 3, heels on floor throughout the movement. Okay. If you squat and you raise your heels come off, that's either an ankle or hip tightness that we have to fix before you can add weight. 4, vertical chest. Kind of goes hand in hand with heels on the floor. When you squat, if your chest comes too far forward, that's not safe. You can't bear weight that way. You have your chest up when we squat. And 5, break parallel. I think that's right. Okay. And that's just our simple CrossFit standard of hips below the knees when we squat. All right? Okay. So these are the things we're looking for. If you can't perform all 5 of these in air squat, then we're going to say you're part of our foundations. I'll get to that in a second after I go over press assessment. So this one's a little simpler. Basically, same thing with the squat, neutral spine. If you can't press without hyperextending your back, okay, we have to fix that. It'll be hard to press with going the other way. Second is full lockout overhead. Okay, that's going to be most likely tightness in your shoulders or your back. Probably not weight, just because this will show up before you get to your max weight. Okay, so even if we have like a 15-pound bar, some people will have trouble locking their arms out. So we'll address that. And then 3, vertical bar path. Vertical bar path. What I mean by that is when we're at the top of the range of motion, like we talk about that vertical or the horizontal plane that we have to pass with our head. Okay, ears past our bicep. If we can't get past here, right, that's not a good press. We have to be back here. Okay, so those are our assessments. That's what we're going to require everyone to do before they load these movements. And we're going to have progression charts. So if you can't squat, say you can't squat, you can do these 3 things, but you can't keep your chest up, okay? Then we're going to have progressions for you to work on, and then over by the rig, where you're going to practice squatting in this position until you can do that effectively. Move on to the last point, and then once you're done with it, once you pass the assessment, then you can safely bear weight, okay? More on foundations program. We are thinking about adding a class, okay, and tentatively like Tuesdays, Thursdays, maybe Saturdays at some point, an hour long. If you're in foundations, you come. It's going to be primarily mobility based to help fix those positions. And then a safe workout for you guys, okay? So it's almost like a CrossFit light. We're hesitant to call it that. We don't want to dumb down CrossFit in any way, but more to come on that. Let's see. We also want to assign you guys a coach, or let you guys pick a coach if you're in foundations, who you'll be accountable to, and you can have someone to go to help you progress. Make sure you're progressing like you should be, to get you into normal class. Okay? Any questions on that? Good. Next, we're going to introduce levels. This will be for our normal class. Okay. So as our gym grows, our athletes are getting better. We started out primarily all beginners. Now we're getting more advanced. We're getting more advanced athletes joining, and we have to challenge everyone, right? So, 2 ways you can challenge an athlete. More than just a normal 60-minute class, right? So we have our standard class. Either make that standard class more difficult, or you can add more time on top of that, or more value. Okay. So our challenge is, how do we don't want to make you guys stay here longer than, we say an hour a day should be enough. We also want to keep that 60-minute class to the point where a beginner is not intimidated to come, right? Like that, we don't want someone to come and say, this is all advanced stuff, I can't do this. So, we are introducing a couple different tracks. You've kind of seen the supplemental stuff. This is all going to be combined now into one cohesive program. So we'll have our normal CrossFit class, okay, which is 60 minutes. It's still going to be our 3 on, 1 off. First day will typically be the heavy day, where we're just going to lift, work on our strength, okay? So, 1, 2, 3. Strength. And then probably some sort of workout involving that strength piece. Okay. So strength WOD. And then we'll have our gymnastics progression, our technique work, then our cardio, like we've been doing. Then day 3 is Olympic lifting, and then cardio as well. Okay? So this stuff will still be progression work for those of us still learning moves. So it'll be technique work, and even for advanced people, that stuff's still important, right? We're still gonna have challenging workouts and stuff. The second track will be called Applied. And this is basically gonna be like a piece that kind of goes hand in hand with these first portions of the normal class. So like here we'll have a gymnastics workout that might be using the same movement that they're learning here, okay? So say I'm an advanced athlete, I have an hour to work out, I don't really want to spend 15 minutes just going over my rope climb technique. There'll be some sort of rope climb workout here that you can do instead. Or if you have time, you can do it afterwards too, because you still probably should work on that technique a little bit. Okay? But if you don't have time, you can substitute it. Okay? There'll be some sort of Olympic lifting workout too. Okay? Same deal here. You're running out short on time and you want to get a workout in instead of the technique. Look on your phone and say, oh, on Monday they did that EMOM, let me do that here instead. So I get a little extra work before the cardio piece. And then there'll be additional strength. Because as we advance, the more competitive elite athlete is going to need more strength than just once every 3 days. Okay? But again, you have to build to that point, so not everyone's ready for it. The last track is Excel. And this is just purely additional value. Okay? This will be the most advanced athletes. We'll probably see a couple more cardio pieces. Metcons, different density metcons, working on high rep gymnastic movements, engine building, endurance. Okay, so like rowing intervals, biking intervals, focusing on specific pace times with specific work to rest ratios. Okay. So in order to start doing the applied stuff, this is, like we said, this is for the more someone who's, you know, taking the next step. Talk to one of the coaches, see if you're ready for that. Okay, not everyone's ready to start doing more work. Okay? Just like you can't just jump into a 300-pound back squat, you have to work towards it. You can't just jump into doing all this stuff at once. You know, some weeks maybe you do, or maybe you've been doing the normal class for a couple of months now. Hey, maybe start doing 1 a week, okay? Or 1 extra workout every, and then in a couple of weeks do 2. Okay. But again, talk to your coach about that. Okay. So that's our levels. Third piece, we'll talk about the cycle that's coming up. We're going to be going back to the basics for the next 9 weeks. Basically, the CrossFit Open is our yearly benchmark. That's how we see how we did year to year, right? So now that this one's over, we're shifting focus to 2017, okay? We want to see how much better we can be in 2017 than we were this year. That's why we encourage everyone to do the Open. Now you have a benchmark. You can say, hey, I was 20% in the region. Next year I want to be 18%, or top 15, whatever. So we're going to start off by working on strength. Okay. Basically, and not just for CrossFit, just for life, the most foundational movements, squatting and overhead pressing. Okay, that's what we're going to work on. We're going to have an 8-week cycle specifically to increase our back squat, increase our strict press. Okay. So that's why in class the past couple of days we had that in programming or testing our 1 rep. So we can base that, we'll be doing percentage work based off our 1 rep on these 2 movements. Okay. So things I'll say about this upcoming cycle is that strength days are going to be the primary days. So I really try to make those. The other days we're still going to be doing this technique stuff. Okay. And I'm not going to say cardio is not as important. It's still important to be in shape. But for the next 8 weeks, all we care about is getting stronger. Okay. So this is going to be the primary day. We really want to be there for that. We also want you guys to pick goals for these 2 movements. Okay. Whether that's I want to get to a full range of motion squat, whether it's I want to increase my 1 rep by 20 pounds or get a 300-pound back squat. We'll put it on the goal board. Okay. In 8 weeks, we'll see how we did. Talk to a coach if you need help picking that goal. Okay. And then don't be too stressed out. The Open was pretty stressful for a lot of people. This is kind of an unwinding time. We're still going to train hard. We're still going to work hard, but you know, it's not stressful. It should be stressful. You guys should come in and have fun. If you don't hit your numbers this week, it's okay. Do your best. We'll test in 8 weeks, and I'm sure we'll all get better as we have been. So that's pretty much it. Any questions?
What about the injured athlete?
So basically that would be sort of foundations, right? So right now you can't really do you can't do any range of motion at all. So we have to go back to the point where we have to get you to the point where we get back to full range of motion. And whether that means rehabbing the injury or just resting until it's better, that's what we'll have to do. So like if your elbow's injured, you can obviously still squat and stuff like that. yeah, we'll have to take it case by case. See what you can do and what you can't do. We don't want to say don't come in at all.
Right, because you can still run, squat,
Right.
use your other arm.
Basically, like we would with foundations, if you're not capable of making full range of motion, then we're going to scale that movement to something you can do.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? All right, well, thanks, guys.